Yo boys, bit of a different setting today, but I wanted to share this story that just happened literally right now. Essentially, I'm in Morocco, hence the different setup. Let me show you. This is the room that I'm staying in. That's all my stuff I threw to the side so that I look tidy on camera. This is the sort of place that I'm staying at. I know it's bright as fuck. It's a nice ass place, just take my word for it. And essentially, I'm here with one of my friends. His name's Eros FX underscore on Twitter, I believe. And he's not there, so he makes over 10k a month as well. And essentially, he was doing a coaching call downstairs, and I overheard something. I'll be real, I was kind of procrastinating recording this video, and I heard him say that, well done, you seriously deserve that client. And the client that he was talking about was, I don't know if the guy has an NDA, so I'm not going to say the name, but it's a very large YouTuber with 25 or 26 million subscribers. Very big client. And about 2 to 3 months ago, we had been coaching this same guy, the guy that got this huge client, and he was struggling to get anyone new. He had one client to his name. He was getting paid a decent amount, but it was like he had no options. It wasn't like he was working with this person because he wanted to. It was because he had to, and there was no one else waiting in line to work with him. And I gave him a piece of advice 2 months ago, and I want to give you the same thing because I think it's really going to help you. And I'm going to cut straight to the chase. It's posting on Twitter. Bear in mind, I could have given all this outside information. Genuinely, it's just posting your work on Twitter. If that's all you wanted, you can click off now. Cool. But I just want to sort of talk through the process of this because if you don't know me, my name is Malice. My real name is Sayeef. But I grew on Twitter up to around 8,500 followers, which the number isn't too important. What's really important is the inbounds that I get. I get more inbounds than I honestly know what to do with. And I'm now working with guys with 20, 30, I have one client that's 40 million subscribers, but I'm under NDA, so for legal reasons, I don't say I have him. But I got all those clients through Twitter. And Twitter is genuinely the best place that you should be as an editor. If you first of all don't have a Twitter, go make that. I remember in 2021, I had a friend, his name was Vise, and he recommended that I should make a Twitter because I was getting into the editing space and he was already content editing. And I snapped back. I said, nah, I don't think it's worth it. I specifically remember what I told him. I told him, I can't be asked. There's not even much point anyways. He doubled down on his point. He basically forced me to make a Twitter. And to this day, I still, I don't say it enough, but genuinely, I owe my career to Vice, bro. He told me to make a Twitter, and it's the reason I'm where I am today. It's the reason I'm able to travel to random countries with my boys. This Airbnb, I'm with Eros, so he helps me coach with my product. And I have 2 other guys that I met in London because I was traveling as well. So I networked with them and we just booked some fucking 4-bedroom, 3-story building in Morocco. And I wouldn't have been here if I didn't have my Twitter. So I'm telling you, it's fucking important, boys. And I've got a few notes here. Pretty much, this is the mindset that you want to go with. Most people think that it takes too long to build a brand. A brand is essentially your online presence. It's if someone tried to learn about you, what would they find? Because a lot of us, we sort of feel that we are good editors or we have some sort of ability. It's just that it hasn't been noticed. We're not appreciated for how good we are. But the thing is, if you, on an anonymous account, if you went on incognito mode and you tried searching on your account and you scrolled through, would your work that's shown online be actually representative of the work you could do? Or if someone looked at your Twitter, would you sort of think that, oh no, my Twitter's there, maybe I don't even have one, but I can actually edit better than what people think. And it's a bit of a sad truth, but people don't really care. I know we've come to this point really quick, but the internet's a harsh place. And if you cannot prove that you can do a certain thing, people will assume the worst of you. If you cannot show on a portfolio or on your brand or on your Twitter that I can do X work, people assume you cannot do that unless you actually post it. So posting is better than not posting, obviously, but it doesn't actually need to take too much time. I remember when that excuse that I gave to Vice when I told him I couldn't open up a Twitter, it was I don't have time, I can't be asked. And looking back at it now, it literally takes about 20 minutes a week. So I'm going to share how you do this. First of all, you need to be editing. This shouldn't really have to be said, but if you're an editor, you should be editing. And you should have videos at least once a week where you have a video that you've completed, whether it be a client work, whether it's paid, whether it's unpaid, whether it be a trial, whether it be a practice, whether it be you just fucking about with a bit of footage. You have some sort of editing done. To post a preview, which is just a cut up version of that full video to post on Twitter, it takes maybe, 5 minutes just to cut out the best bits. Now, here's what you want to do. You want to take out the bits that you feel have the best visuals. So, what I found on Twitter is the people that do the best on Twitter tend to be the people with the most visuals. Now, this doesn't mean you go ahead and in your client work, you fuck it all up by putting hyper edits in every second. That's not what you do. You edit it like you normally would, with a few sections where most of it is about cutting and the pacing, but there's some sections which are more highly edited. It's those bits after you're done, you cut them up, put them together, and don't keep in the boring bits, especially that first second or two. You want to make sure it's super highly engaging. And you post it on Twitter, and basically you post on Twitter, you put the caption, which is something like, content preview for, then you can tag them, or trial preview for this, or content editing highlights. If you want to see some examples, if you go onto Twitter, you search at VFX Malice, W plug. If you search up my Twitter, you'll see me doing it, where when I post my previews, you'll see the sort of naming convention I use. You want to keep your tweets super short and simple. You know how with videos you have retention, which is when people are watching, if not enough is happening on screen, a lot of people are brain dead. Like, they feel as though there's some enlightened, I am some meditative god where I have attention span, and look at all these people with bad attention spans. They have bad attention spans as well. So even to target more intellectual people, you still want to have a good hook, which in a preview's case is having the preview video not have a boring bit at the first bit, the first second, cut straight to action. And second of all, the caption, so the actual writing you put, don't put a huge block of text. You don't have to do this, but you can take my word for it. If you looked at my first ever content preview, it's literally an entire paragraph where it's basically saying content editing highlights for this person. If you're looking for a cheap Fortnite highlight editor, then DM this, and my commissions are open, and it's a whole paragraph. It's ugly. Keep it short, keep it sweet. And a lot of people have this fear where they feel as though their work isn't good enough to post on Twitter. And I don't really blame you, especially if you're on Twitter a lot or you're consuming other editors' work. It feels as though everyone's always racing ahead of you. And do you want me to be completely honest? I feel the exact same way. I'm working now with huge guys with 15, 20, 30 million subscribers. I still have the exact same feeling. When I look at another editor, I'm thinking what the fuck, this guy mugs me in every single way. So trust me, that feeling never goes away. The people that are at the stage where they don't have a brand and they don't get clients and they're struggling, they have the feeling of fear. Sorry about that, some big ass notification came off. They have the fear that their work isn't good enough. But the people at the top also have that fear. Literally the only difference between them is whether they decided to post anyways. So I hope this is just a call for you. I would much rather you have a preview that is at your level right now, rather than you be scared to post at all. If you go on my Twitter right now, I still have every single preview from February 2021. It's something 2024 right now. So it's been 3 years. I still have all my old tweets to look at. And the thing is, how much more wholesome does it look when you can literally see my editing progress from Fortnite crappy montages to sort of getting into content editing and then becoming one of the best known editors in the content space and one of the best paid in the space. So it's nice having that sort of progression you can see looking back, but I wouldn't have that if at the time I thought I just need to get better. The only caveat to this is you want to post and you just want to make sure that every single post you make is either the same or slightly better than your last preview. So if you haven't posted a preview at all, what does that mean? Basically anything is better than zero. So you post anything. This is an actionable step. Most people aren't going to do this, but then again, most people just watch videos like these and say they want to be an editor, then after a few months they quit. They don't take action. But if you genuinely want this to help you, if you haven't posted on Twitter in a while, take an edit that you've done, turn it into a preview, just like I said before, post it on Twitter. and I promise you, nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna expect that you get clients straight away, but what I found with branding is it's more of a compounding effect. Compound effect, it's like a graph where I think the camera's doing it the right way. So it's a graph like this where for a while you're putting in effort, time's passing, but you don't really see results. It feels as though you're just wasting your time. And after like ages, you start seeing a little bit results, a little bit more, and then it suddenly just feels like it's exploding. That's exactly how posting previews and branding works. You might post 5, 10, 15 previews before you actually do well, as in numbers wise, but the likes doesn't matter. That's a topic for a different day. You might not get inbounds after the first few previews, but it's when you've sort of compounded and then the algorithm sort of kicks in, because the way the Twitter algorithm works, it's not based on just randomly recommending, it's more of like a network based. So when one person likes another person, when one person likes your tweet and someone that follows this person now sees your tweet because their friend liked it. So Twitter works in a way where the more likes you get, the easier it is to get likes. It's the hardest to get those first few likes, but once you do, I promise you, it becomes so much easier. So yeah, what I actually told the guy that we were coaching and the guy that got that 25, 26 million subscriber client reach just about an hour ago, you don't worry about the likes for now. You just post the previews that you're making anyways and you stay consistent. What I recommend is at least once a week, but yeah, just try to do once a week. Let's be real. If you're not editing one video a week, or what the fuck are you doing? You're just not being productive. So you post and one day you look back at it and you'll be like, holy fuck, I'm actually getting inbounds from this. And a lot of the time, here's what's interesting. The inbounds you get aren't going to be because of the preview you just posted. You're going to post maybe 5, 10 previews and you're going to post the 11th preview, right? There's just an arbitrary number. You're going to post the 11th preview and you're going to get like 5 inbound clients out of nowhere when for the last 10 you got none. So you're going to be thinking, oh, it was the 11th preview that got me the clients. But in reality, it wasn't the 11th preview, because the 11th preview wouldn't have been seen if you didn't build up that momentum of those last 10. A lot of people try to see the success of previews and they post one and then they're like, oh, it doesn't work. I guess branding doesn't work. Like, branding's a lie. It's like, yeah, I'm sure branding's a lie and you're just unlucky and it's because nothing ever comes easy to you and the universe is against you. I'm sure that's the reason why, or it's because you posted a couple times and expected it to work. So I don't say this to be an arsehole. I just say it because it's the best advice I have gotten to build my brand on Twitter. I gain nothing from this. I'm just saying, like, I don't want you to look back at yourself in about a year, 2 years, looking at your profile, looking at your client list, looking at your position in life and thinking, holy fuck, I'm exactly where I was before, and it's purely because I haven't built anything to my name. And that's when the fears start coming in, where you're getting a normal job, you're scared that you're basically never going to be able to move out your parents' house, you're scared that you're going to have to live like a normal life. Like, yeah, you are going to feel those fears. And you kind of deserve it. If you didn't have this information available to you, yeah, like, fair enough. Like, if we were thinking about, let's say, our parents, I think a lot of people look at their parents, and I used to do this as well, where we kind of have this mindset of like, why do you think that normal jobs are good? Like, if you're watching this sort of content, you know that like a normal job, you're basically cooked if you work at 9 to 5. You have 0 time freedom, 0 financial freedom, 0 location freedom. You're fucked. Like, even the highest paying jobs, okay, you're making 100k a year from a normal job, they're working you until your soul is basically taken and you're not traveling because you have to make sure you're in every single day in that spot. So it's like, there's very few jobs, and even if you do, you're basically fucked. So we kind of look at our parents and we're like, oh, like, why don't they understand? Why do they still want me to go to uni? But the thing is, they didn't have the information you do right now. They don't watch videos like these on entrepreneurship. They don't watch videos like these where they're talking about a new paradigm, a new way of seeing the world where, yeah, you can make money online. So we can't really blame them. And if you didn't have the information to you that you can do this and you should post like this and you should brand in this way because it will set your future self up. If you didn't have the information, fair enough, but you do. So I just want to end this off and yeah, go post a preview if you're really serious about it. Love you.